Well, good afternoon and welcome to another webinar here on the Societies of Photographers page and our members group. We're back with Debbie from Loxley Cover. It's absolute Loxley Colour, even get my teeth back in. It's absolutely fantastic to have you back doing another webinar for us, Debbie.
Thanks for having me, Colin. It's nice to be back.
So you'll ask Debbie, if you're just tuning in and you didn't catch the last one, Debbie did a webinar on choosing the right products for your business for the last webinar, and that was kind of explaining the range that you've got in Loxley Colour and what products are suitable for what market. But today we're kind of going on to the next step. So today's webinar is all about increasing your average sales through products.
Yeah. So obviously, I think it's the easiest avenue to be able to increase your average sales, whether it's a wedding photographer, portrait photographer, whatever genre. Because I think more than ever, people are trying to increase those average sales. Maybe not getting in not doing as many shoots or as many weddings. Obviously, next year they'll be stacked out, hopefully, with weddings. But I think it's just about maximising everything. It's something that we are constantly getting calls about, new products, wanting to add products to increase their average sales. So hopefully it is a good follow-on from choosing the right products. So I'm going to be less specific about products today and more about how to use them to actually create higher average sales.
Yeah, which is fantastic, and that's what it's all about. And do you touch on stuff like packages and stuff like that?
Yeah. So really, all the whether it's in-person sales, adding collections, making sure that those are maximizing them. That is one of the easiest avenues to go down. Is the collections, and maybe just strategically grouping products together that are going to achieve that for you wherever you're at. I mean, it is very personal. Everybody's business is different, and what they've currently got and what they want to achieve. So it's going to be quite broad today, and hopefully, if anyone wants to fire any questions my way about what their current offerings are or how it's relating to them, just fire them my way.
Excellent. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a really interesting webinar. And then also a date for everyone's diary. You're back on October the 7th, again at the 1 o'clock lunchtime slot. And that's going to be product pricing and profit margins. So again, that follows on perfectly from today's webinar.
So the icing on the cake, that will be, hopefully.
Exactly. So without further ado, with that kind of introduction done, do you want to bring up the presentation?
Yeah, we'll do.
And then I'll get that onto your full screen for you. So is that ready to go now? Yes.
That's all good to go.
Brilliant. So I'm going to hide myself into the background. As Debbie said, if you've got any questions, then please post them in the comments and I will pitch them to Debbie either throughout the presentation or we'll do a bit of a Q&A afterwards. Just looking at that, you've got a HP microphone. I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but it's certainly on ours.
Let me try it.
That's better. And then
has it gone? Sorry, now I've just got rid of my screen. Has it gone completely there, or
that's perfect. And then you've just got the little hide StreamYard sharing.
There we go.
Perfect. Right, I will leave you to it. Thank you very much, Debbie. We really appreciate it.
No worries, Colin. Thank you. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about increasing your average sales, and this is something that we get asked constantly about, how people can increase their average sales, whether they're in wedding photography, portrait photography, whether they're working remotely or in studios, or everybody's situation is different. So hopefully we can kind of make this as broad as possible, but any specifics, just let me know. So I think initially you need to identify where you are now. Okay, so what you're offering, your pricing, and everything like that. If you do collections or whether you have to take things with you. So identify where you are now, your current situation. Identify where you need to be. Now, where you need to be is your break-even point. So what you need to cover all of your overheads, so that you can then establish where your pricing needs to be. So identify where you want to be. So this is your goals. So a bit further down the webinar, we'll sort of talk a little bit about goals, and that probably will be more relevant in the webinar I'm going to be doing in a few weeks' time. But then you need to identify a growth plan. Okay, so now you've established where you are, where you want to be, and then we can action it. Okay, so a lot of people will start to establish some of these points, but then not action it. Action is something that is really key to making this happen. Okay, so your route to increasing average sale. Obviously, this is all personal to your business. So we've got many avenues. I'm going to highlight a few here. If you think of any others, pop them in the comments and share those. That would be fabulous. So obviously we've got in-person sales is a key one to increasing average sales. Adding collections, another key one to increase them average sales. Simply increasing your prices. You may be pitched slightly too low, so you may be able to just increase it 10%, 20%, wherever you are. Digitals, not available to purchase or only available in your higher packages, to try and encourage people to spend more with you. Also offering more add-on products, and then simplifying the sales process. So we're going to go through each of these individual 6 points today, and you could do one of these, you could do 2 of these, you could do all of them. If you do a little bit of all of them, then obviously you're going to reap the rewards of at the end. So in-person sales versus online galleries. This again is something that I know people are switching over from doing online galleries since we've been sort of in the situation this year, and people are looking more at actually doing in-person sales. When you're face to face with people, you are more likely to sell. So you can create the right environment for the ultimate experience. Now, this is something that's come up on many webinars you've probably watched over the last few months, and that is creating an experience that people, from the first point of contact from you, converting that lead to your marketing, to the images you have on display, to the way that you welcome them in, the comfort of the viewing experience, all that experience grouped together creates a higher value environment that you will want to create. So creating a product display with relevant images. Okay, there's no point having boudoir images on the wall with your samples if you're actually a newborn photographer, or again, wedding images if you don't do wedding photography, or you don't want to push those products for weddings. So having the right products on the wall is really key. So show the larger products on display as well. So the displays, again, I would try not to clutter. The next 2 sort of points here, we're not cluttering the display, but also showing larger products and collections together. So if you have collections of a display of a 30 by 20 and maybe 2 20 by 16s either side, show that all as one shoot, so that it actually creates the feel of people wanting to buy that as a display. That comes a display. If it's got a newborn in one, and your family in another, and a dog in another, if you cover all those genres, then it's actually going to almost steer them just towards buying the one product. If it's from one shoot and looks as if it's all part of one package, one collection, then people are going to be steered towards that more. So your product display, don't clutter it, having lots of different things close together, and have it with relevant images and the larger products. So almost keep your smaller products out of the way. So that will help for the in-person sales. So it's about maximizing the in-person sales. So ensure when you're viewing that your clients have an element of privacy to heighten the emotional experience of viewing. So when you're showing a slideshow to some nice relevant music and showing their images, you want to create them so you're probably not in view, so that they can they can actually have that emotional connection with the images, which they should get anyway, but you almost want them sitting comfortably and having that nice viewing experience. They're more likely to purchase more. Okay, so make your clients feel special. This is again another point of it's come up in quite a few of our webinars, is sort of having that chocolate on the pillow experience, and that whole nice feeling special, nice coffee, choices of things, and biscuits, nice biscuits, nice clean toilets for them to go in, that whole feeling special and as if they're the only one that counts. And a big downfall quite often is in the sales aspect of photography, is people seeing a client coming in and expecting maybe, oh, that they're not going to spend, or they don't look as if they've got much money, or they're not from a great area, so they're not going to spend money. Do not fall into that trap of thinking that, they are not going to spend. Everyone needs to be treated the same. So online galleries cannot recreate the feeling, nor can the client get an idea of size and quality. People need to touch and feel. And this goes back to sort of us talking about, the exhibitions and things, and not being exhibitions at the moment. We need people to touch and feel our products as well quite often. So it is something that we're missing from not being able to do exhibitions. So online galleries can't recreate that. You can show them, as like in this image here. This is an image from our display at the Society's convention in January. And this is something that it doesn't show how, as amazing as they are, they can get an idea, and you can also get an idea of size, maybe if somebody was within that image to show them. But it is difficult. But use online galleries for after sales. So this is something that you can create. So this can actually increase your average sales over the year, and it's something I'll talk in the next webinar. Is that obviously you've got your in-person sale where you get your maximum sale. So maybe you do an £800 sale within your in-person sales when you've got them there and then in the emotional environment, and ready to spend. So they buy your middle package, for example, say it's £800, and then nearer Christmas, say they did that earlier this year in February, February time, and now it's coming up to the Christmas time. Use your online galleries, send them another link with the images, say, if you want any images for Christmas, we've reopened your gallery where you can choose some images and get them sent direct to family, all over the world. It's a great opportunity. And we've got some. We're linked with quite a few online galleries like SmugMug, Shootproof, and such like. So it is a great, opportunity to do that. So moving on now, we'll go on to collections. So this is something that I touched on with Colin at the beginning. So collections are great for encouraging people to buy more. So say you've got some your products highly priced as individual items, obviously better price in collections, a little bit like what we discussed last time when we were talking about choosing the right products for your clients. So grouping them together, you can actually sell more. I mean, for example, here we've got a box frame, a large 30-inch box frame, and then 3 smaller ones underneath. That as a collection, that is all from the same shoot, so that actually is enticing them to buy something all together. And you could include a book that maybe was with the rest of their images, so they're not having to sacrifice all their favorite images. A great selling tool is a book, because obviously they have their feature wall products and then a book to add on. It's a great one to add on and add value to that collection. So you need to aim people towards the middle collection. So if you've got a collection, a bottom, middle and top collection, you really need to be steering them towards the middle and top collections. So how we can do that, some ideas of how you can do that would be to put your most popular into the higher collections. So say you always, you'd regularly sell a multi-art panel like here on the right, this one here. Say you were selling those with a multiple image, or it might be a multi-aperture mount within a frame or something like that. That was your most popular product, or the one that you marketed, you used in your marketed, or you've got it in display in the window, something that is steered towards. They're coming in for that. They've been drawn to you for that particular product. So don't have it in your bottom package. Don't have it as a standalone product. Stick it in that middle and top package so that you're steering them towards those. Then that isn't a way to boost the average sales, because you don't want really anybody purchasing the bottom package. So have the best-selling products or the signature products in that top and middle collections only. And this is also, if people are coming in with that preconception that they want the USB, they want the digital files, which a lot of this is barriers that people come, or can we just have the digital files? Well, if you only have them available in your middle and top package, then they're going to go towards that and spend more. So they could maybe have a selection of them within the middle package, maybe all of them with the top package. If you know that that's what they're wanting, then steer them towards that. Because 9 times out of 10, they really only want those just so that they can share a few images on social media. So you can say, well, go for this middle package. I'll throw in some, if you don't want to do the digital files at all, then you could always just say, well, I'll give you, 2 or 3 just for sharing on social media, as a free add-on to encourage them to go for the higher collections. So to increase average sales in the collections, it's always about moving them up and how you can make the middle and top package look more attractive. That's also make sure you have those on display. So if you've got your collection on display on one wall, even if you've got nothing else, have the top package on display, because you can always come down from that. And if you've got space to do one wall with the top package and one wall with the middle package, get those on there, and then have some add-ons that you can also boost those collections as well. So you might have some extra bits, which we'll talk about in a moment. So they do need to be more attractive than the individual products themselves. Because you've got to think, if you're getting all of that packet, all of those products from one supplier, I mean, I know from Loxley's point of view, we do one shipping cost. So it would cost the same to get that one 30-inch square box frame there as it would do for all 4 of them there as well, and a book. So you'd be looking at trying to consolidate and reduce your shipping costs. So increasing prices and adding value is something that is another way to increase your average sales. So some people might be at a point, so once you've, if we go back to the very beginning where you've identified where you are, you might think, I can just simply straight off increase my prices by 10%, 20%, something like that. You may be at that stage. And then that's, that is your current range. You've not changed anything. You're increasing your margins as well as your prices. So, but it's a great time right now to increase the value of what you offer and in turn increase the average sales, because this is something I think people are afraid of increasing prices. But if you increase prices and it can be disguised with adding value. You are adding more products. There are plenty of products that can make that middle and top collection look more attractive. So it is a great opportunity to do that right now. So if you look at what you're currently offering and say and think, okay, does that look attractive? Does that look good value? Does it still look good value if I'm adding £100 onto it, for example, onto each of the collections? And if it doesn't, then you need to jiggle them around, take something out, put something in, 2 products in that are nearly the same cost as what you've taken out. So you're almost, that number of items is going to already add a good perceived value to that client. So for example, you might have in your middle package a 30 by 20 alumni, and maybe a framed product and maybe a book as well. If you take out that alumni and add a gallery block, for example, and maybe another 2 small ones, that is pretty much underneath what that would work out slightly less than potentially slightly less than what that one alumni was, for example, in that middle package. Put that alumni into your top package and do that, because it is quite a premium product. So you've actually increased your margins there, but you've also increased the number of products people are getting for that size, so you can maybe increase the price as well. So then you're increasing the value on the price of that package. So best-selling products slowly increase the price. So say you've got you're constantly, let's go back to the multi-art panel that we discussed, where you've got a multi-aperture image. If that is your best-selling product and you're selling it every shoot, that's pretty much guaranteed what people will want to buy, and slowly increase that price. It's supply and demand. If they want to get that product, then you can start to increase it, just slow increments as you're going along, until you find that point where you want to stick at. So Go larger with your products. So again, this goes back to display, what we discussed with the in-person sales. So display, put larger products. They don't go up. You know, the next size up isn't always a lot more expensive. For example, 10 by 8 frame products, it's still 4 corners that have to be made. It's still a double mount that has to be made. It's still a print that has to be made. Yes, there's slightly less materials, but it's more of the labour costs, you know, those costs that go into it. So you've got to think that actually the perceived value of a 30 by 20 as opposed to a 10 by 8 isn't pro rata at all. It is less, so it does look better. Look out for, like, we do champion sizes at Loxley's, where a lot of the wall products are 10% cheaper throughout the year. So basically the 30 by 20s and 20 by 16s are a great product to get more perceived value. So great products to have in your collections and on your price list, and gives you the ability to go larger. Again, we do clusters and splits, so they're like a set of 3 or a set of 4 of the same size product, but it is in the aluminium and in the edge print. Those are great because those give you better value for money, and you're getting a set of 3. So doing a set of 3 in your collections through the clusters and splits, those are great. So check those out. If you go into wall products, and then it is in the drop down box, there is the clusters and splits. So it's a great to identify those products that you're getting more value for, that you can actually then give a better perceived value, and it allows you to increase the price of your products, and in turn in your collections. So to try to, I mean, I've said about multi-aperture products. Now I've actually put here, try to avoid too many multi-aperture products, because each of those images are of value to you. You've got to first of all shoot them, you've got to edit them, and you've got to get them to choose them. So quite often, going back to maybe these clusters and splits, may be better for you to have them so that they're getting 3 individual products. They can, you know, if wall space is at a premium within their house, so they've not got much wall space available, they can dot these around, and they're still not, you know, not having to give up a big space for a larger product, but you're still getting the multiple products instead. So try to avoid too many of the multi-aperture mounts. Maybe have those in your top collection, so that you're trying to steer them towards that. Okay, so that's increasing through adding value. So products versus digital files. Okay, this is a tough one, because it is something that, you know, clients will come in and have that perceived preconception that they should have the digital files. And 9 times out of 10, it's just so that they can share a couple on social media. So always have that in mind, and do stick to your guns. If you have digital files showing on your price list, or you have them in your marketing, then people are going to be drawn to them, I'm afraid. So take them out, have them just in the cupboard, just as a, you know, as a fallback and a fail-safe, and something to maybe add to those packages. So avoid selling the digital files. You know, they could maybe be, quite often it's easier to do it, and adds more value as well. Actually, going back to this perceived value, combining it with other products. We do a book and USB product, a print and USB product. We've now even expanded our albums to, we've got a channel where you can add a channel for the USB, all in the same fabrics and things. It looks an amazing product, and it's got that size. So for weddings, you're obviously, you can add the premium box and the USB, you know, as with the slideshow on, for example, and same for the book and USB product and the print and USB product. Check those out, because that's a way, if you are selling digital files, you can still sell them, but keep them with a combination product, so that you can, it gives a better perceived value. You're giving the client something that they can get out and show friends when they come round, so it's extra marketing for you, with clients that will have similar interests as that client that's been in to see you. So it is great. Same with wall products. They are extra marketing. Think of those as extra marketing for your word of mouth business. So combining them, and then also make the more expensive collections look more attractive by adding the digital files in them. So this is an easy one, because obviously, you know, if you've got more products and you're selling more products, then, you know, you can add, say, to the middle package, maybe 10 images on 10 digital file images within, you know, for them, and then maybe more for the top package. So it makes each look more attractive. If they want them all, they're all in the top package, for example. So try and strategically, you need to really strip back your collections and think how you can make the most of them. So offering add-on products. So again, this is something to ensure that you do not limit the sale to your collections, and always ensure you have relevant, easy add-ons. So for example, let's go through a few genres just as examples. So so weddings. Okay, so a lot of people now, because they've got no weddings this year, they're wanting to maximize what they get out of each of the weddings next year. So it's a case of they're starting to think about, okay, I need an album, I need an entry-level album that's included, you know, it's included. So they increase the prices. So they're adding value straight away by adding an album. But it's might be the book and USB maybe, or it may be a small, just an 8x8 Perfetto, or something as a small entry-level album. And then they can upsell from that. So first of all, you've got your upsells. So you can add the USB in the channel within the album. You can add a nice presentation box. They do come as a standard black leatherette box, so that's, you know, if you want to keep it as that, but to have it in the same way, it's only £10 extra, but you could add much more on to your cost, your price for that, for the client. Adding parent books, adding you know, the little keepsake accordions, adding the mini print boxes, anything like that. This is a mini print box here, it's so cute and quirky. And then, you know, obviously you could add the USBs, keepsake accordions, parent books, all of those kind of things. For studios, depending on what your collections have got, but you know, you can add prints, you can add extra prints, you can add extra spreads to your books. Same for the albums, add extra spreads to the book, you know, at a premium, you know, at an extra cost, and just keep upgrading all the time. So we've got books and albums, so adding pages, upgrading to larger ones, adding parent and grandparent books. So for wall products, you can add desk products, so they could be matching desktop products. So if you've got an illuminite on the wall, an aluminium, you can actually have a desk illuminite. Desk acrylic. The gallery block, we've got the desk wrap for quite a lot of the frames. Might be worth looking when you're choosing frames from us, which of the frames have a matching desk frame, because that is a great add-on. And if it is a true desk frame, as in the same range as the wall product, then you have got, you know, your add-on sales there. So check those out. So this is why choosing products are key, to have a look at what you can use as add-ons for those, because they have to be suitable for the different genres, and also for what you're currently offering. So also we've got adding products suitable for different rooms. So it might be that you have something that, you know, you don't have to necessarily have all frames. You could have some frameless products that might go in a different room. You can almost market it that this one's perfect for bedrooms, but this one is your feature product for over your sofa. If you're giving them ideas of where those particular products can go, they're thinking, oh yeah, we never thought about getting one for the bedroom or for the downstairs bathroom or something. You know, it might be a little set of 3 or something. You know, give them ideas, and then they'll think, yeah, we haven't got anything in that room, we could do with something there. So, and also going premium to the fine art products. This is something that's becoming increasingly popular for us. We do fine art prints, fine art book, fine art albums, fine art float frames. We do the fine art prints in the frames as well. So anything like that, you could have adding matted prints. So you could have the fine art prints, you know, in a mount that could go in a box. We have a portfolio box, which is great. So, and even adding USBs as well, sort of to add on at the end to keep going. So you can keep building up, and all of a sudden that £500 average has turned into £1,500 sale easily just by giving them a few ideas and having relevant products, because there's no point trying to sell them if they've bought a display of, that big 30 by 30 box frame like this one, this is the box frame, and 3 smaller ones underneath. They've pretty much got, they've given you that indication maybe that that's the maximum that they can display on the wall. You can then go on to books, prints in a presentation box, you can go on to USB, you can go on to books that they could give to desk frames, or you could go on to books that they could give to grandparents, and the keepsake accordions they could have in their bag. So finding something, an excuse for every product that you offer, how that could be relevant to them and why they should buy it. You need to feed them those questions, and then they'll realize, yes, that's, they might not have thought about it. So this list is endless, but you must get a core range and see what products complement them. So again, very individual to your business as well. So simplifying the sales process. So this is something that people get very bogged down with, I think, and I think it's just going through it simply. And your sales process, look at your sales process. This is different for everybody's, because everybody's circumstances are different. What you're working with, what time you have, whether you have any staff, etc., etc. It is all so different and unique to you. So, but I think establish what your sales process is at each contact point you have with your clients. And I think it is key to have as many contact points as you can with your client, from your initial booking for you, what you're telling them to how to prepare for the session, during the session, after the session, all of those points of contact. And again, going back to those online galleries for after sales, after you've done your in-person sales as well. So that's, and whether you're going to use them again, try and get them to come in for a newborn, when are you actually going to market to them for that, that sitter session, or that first birthday, cake smash maybe, or for weddings it might be, planting the seed, for a newborn session, or maternity shoot to wedding shoot. Think about all the sales process, and that includes your marketing. I'm talking probably about sales and marketing together. So make it easy for the client to make decisions without adding pressure. So again, that is going through your sales process and identify it, scrutinize it, pull it down. Okay, so when am I contacting, and how am I going to introduce them to what we offer? So again, this goes on to the next point about planting seeds throughout the process. So that is basically your soft sell with your clients, and you should be starting that at a very early stage, the first point of contact, trying to plant seeds. Whether that first point of contact is your marketing, your social media marketing, or your website where you're drawing them to on the website. Make it easy. You might have a nice online booking system, but then follow that up with something. So it might be automated emails. So this goes on to this next point. Use a CRM system with templates to add collections, add-ons, etc. But this is also to help with your soft sell process. I know we had a couple of people on for with CRM systems like Blue and also Studio Ninja, and they were really great to be able to, when you send them through, to be able to have a link to click through to add on various things. Made it really simple, and suggestions popping up, for certain clients, suggesting things to them to, why they should have them. Not just, oh, do you want to buy one of these? Do you want to add on? Do you want to add on one of these? Do you want to add on another wall product? Say it needs to be said probably more in a way that, what would you be thinking about anything for your, for another room in the house? Because we do these great collections, these clusters of three aluminium products. They're great. Or why not something for other members of the family, and and things like that. And if it's weddings, why not something for the other members of the bridal party? And so there's, plant the seed of why they should be buying it, not what they should be buying, so that it creates an easier add-on and increases your average sales across the board. So motivation. Let's get to some things. What drives you, motivates you to success. And these are kind of the webinars that I love most when we've had guests on, and some of them just really I find are very motivating, and I think, go back and listen to any of them. I know that there's been a few with Colin as well, which is great. So find out what drives you. Focus on where you want to be rather than where you need to be. So again, it goes back to the beginning where you establish identifying where you need to be and where you want to be. So we need those goals. What drives you to get there? That might be that you want to have more time with the family. You need the financial. You want to be going on 2 holidays a year. Whatever that is, find out what that drives you and make sure you've always got that in your sights. So it might be that it might just be I want to get just underneath the VAT threshold, the VAT threshold. This is something, again, that comes up quite often, more with wedding photographers than anything. So we're going to touch on that. Or is it time? Maybe you want to do a maximum of 4 shoots a week or 30 weddings a year. Maybe it's to achieve £150,000 a year or more, or whatever that figure is. Whatever that is, that's your starting point to establish what your average sales should be targeting. So I think until you know where you want to be targeting, then you need to know what you need to do to increase that average sale. So we're going to hit firstly on keeping under the VAT threshold. So based on 4 shoots a week, let's go with just an example. So you do the math, whatever your figures are here. So I'm just going to base it on 4 shoots a week. Current average, £300 a week over a 48-week year. So that's giving you 4 weeks holiday. All right. So that's going to give you a turnover of 57,600. So if we increase that by 140 to an average of £440, that's going to give you 84,480, just coincidentally underneath the VAT threshold of 85,000 a year. So, okay, so that's where you'd need to be if you're doing 4 shoots. So if you have a lower average, you need to increase the number of shoots. So 8 shoots a week over 48-week year, need an average of 220 per shoot. So need to establish where that is. If you want to do less shoots per week, so if time is more more important to you, then you need to increase your averages. So 2 shoots a week over 48 weeks, you need an average of 880. Simple math. So that's really just to keep under that VAT threshold, which I know quite a lot of you do. So you need to make the most of that. So obviously, it'd be better to do less and do less shoots and have a higher average. So increasing, if your current average is £300 a year, using some of the ideas that we've had throughout the webinar so far, could easily increase by £140 if you cherry pick a few of those sections, even from increasing a little bit, and then go through a few of the your collections pricing. So if you want to be £150,000 studio, this is just plucked out of the air. The figure would be a nice jump. Now 150, and why I went to 150 was because between 85,000, I think, and 150, I think it's the fixed rate VAT. So it's not as high as what you would think. So it's quite a nice bracket to be in. So number of shoots a week. Times 48 weeks, we're doing it again with 4 weeks off, as if you would be if you were in a normal job. So example, we've got 8 times 48 is 384 shoots a year. So the target annual revenue 150,000. So divide that by the number of shoots in the year, which is 384. So 150,000 divided by 384, and it gives you a target average sale of 390. Okay, so, and that's with 8 shoots a week. Okay, so obviously you need to change that. If you're going to do 4 shoots a week, you're going to have to double. That would be double the average there. And again, if you couldn't achieve that 390 average, then you need to increase the number of shoots that you're doing. So everybody's situation is different. So just weddings, for example, now, because that was more on the studios. So if we were having the same £150,000 target with 30 weddings, it's an average of 5,000 a wedding. Okay, so this is where it gets a little bit more scary. So if you can achieve 3,000 average, you need to do 50 weddings a year to get that £150,000 target. So again, that's achievable with the add-ons that we discussed, add-on parent books, USB onto the album in the channel. You can have a presentation pots. These don't cost much, so it's actually, although it will be increasing you quite a lot, your margins are also going to increase, because it's not going to be relative, it's going to be much higher. So that's just to give an indication as an example to get to that £150,000 mark. So a quick summary before we finish. We've got key points that all can increase your average sales. So why not use them all? There are many other ways. So think about your business model and use them ideas too. So I think initially just break down your packages, break down what you need to earn, what you want to earn, and then you can start establishing what you need to do and what of those factors you need to implement. So incremental price increases is really important. Okay, people are coming to you for your skills. You need to get in that mindset of actually what you are worth, and it's not just about the products, it's not just about looking at that, it's the whole experience that you've created, like we talked about at the beginning. So IPS, in-person sales, and after sales. So do the two, because you can actually, that after sales that you get from them is going to add that really is your one shoot. So you're not doing anything for that after sales other than sending them an email. So really that's going to increase the average sales. You can count that probably in your sale for the number of shoots, because you're dividing it by the number of shoots. So say you've done those 384 shoots in the year, but then you've also sold an additional £50 to each of those 384, then that's increased your average sale from, say, it was £400 to £450 per person, because you're getting the after sales as well. So do bear that in mind, because it is quite an easy sale, especially when it comes up to Christmas. So think about that now. So restructure and add collections to increase price and add value. Have upgrades and add-on products so you do not limit the sale. And ensure the digital files or best-selling signature products are only available in the high-value collections. And refine your sales process to soft sell during all your contact points. So I think that is actually it there, Colin.
Fantastic. Another really interesting webinar. There's lots that I took from it. Some really good points. I think even just it's sometimes just little simple things, like when we were doing a lot of the one-to-one business coaching and website, a lot of our members were saying, "Oh, I don't like selling," and stuff like this. But what we were saying is, you're making suggestions or give them ideas where they can put the products, as you said, work desks, or maybe grandparents or family that live abroad. And it's not so much selling, a hard sell or something. You're just making these little suggestions. They go, "Oh yeah, I didn't think actually that would make a great Christmas present," or it's grandma's birthday coming up. I'm sure she'd love a fantastic picture on the wall, and it's maybe stuff that they just haven't thought about. And it's those little wins, or adding extra pages in the album, or selling a slightly larger piece of wall art, that all mounts up to quite a lot in the end. The little bit of maths that you did towards the end of the webinar, then you could just see just a little bit per session made a dramatic impact on the end of year, kind of net profit and all that kind of stuff. So a really interesting webinar today. So thank you so much again for that. You will be back on Wednesday, the 7th of October, doing your product pricing and profit margins webinar. So this then goes on from what you're talking about today.
No, we'll do, and that is really interesting. And as you mentioned, sort of about those little changes. Well, this is just it's one I get most excited about, because I love spreadsheets and things like that. So I will be sharing some figures, but it's really interesting how just little changes, and this is little changes, not just increasing your average sales. So next week it's about profits, but it's about getting little changes in quite a few different areas of your business that will actually just make a huge difference to the bottom line, not just say you increase your price by 10%, it's not going to make 10% difference to your profit margin. So it's really exciting, and I look forward to doing that with you.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Debbie, and we're really looking forward to getting you back on again.
Brilliant. Thanks, Colin. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much. Take care, and we'll speak to you soon.
Cheers.